we also need to get right with being wrong.
In general, I've been rewatching Schitt's Creek a little bit, just like random episodes. And I was like, oh, I get why this show hit in the pandemic because nothing bad ever happened.
This is baseball for me.
Yeah.
Where you go, like, there's rules. Everybody's like doing the rules.
Yeah, I feel
and
it.
Same, like, I think Gilmore Girls got very popular during COVID.
Yeah.
Like,
because
of the same thing where it's like everything works out in the end and people need something to believe in. I just watched. Have you guys seen Deepwater?
No.
It's like a plane crash, shark infested water movie.
Oh, I saw a commercial
that
for
sounds
it.
fun.
But it is, there's the moment where they're showing the plane crash, and there's this moment where you just go like, at the end of your life, the only thing you really are tasked with doing is just believing that everything's going to be okay. Like, no matter what happens, whether you live or die.
That good is going to triumph over evil.
Yeah, or that your life has been worth something, or that whatever it is, even if you don't believe in like an afterlife or a thing that you will live on, that people will love you, that things will get handled with you not being there.
Yeah.
And that's like your duty in death, which is so sad. But I think that with COVID, we're seeing so much death happen at once. It's overwhelming. There's like all of these, new rules and restrictions and things, and it's scary. We don't know what's happening. And people need something to believe in. And it's like, this like magical land where everything wraps up nicely in the end.
Right.
Mom and dad are fun and funny and quirky.
Right. It kind of, honestly, it makes sense why, like, the older generations love those, like, cheesy CBS kind of shows where it's, like, bad guy, cop find bad guy, cop get bad guy. Yeah. Everyone wins. Like, it is kind of, like, now I realize it's a form of escapism because the real life is not actually like that, where the bad guys are got. So it kind of is.
Sometimes they're president. Isn't that crazy?
Sometimes they hit the highest office in the world.
And judges.
Yeah.
So like I remember when I was unemployed and was like staying with my family, my mom, she loved Hallmark Mystery was like her favorite channel.
My mom watches so much Hallmark shit.
And it was kind of cathartic to like watch something where like, okay, they get the bad guy in the end.
Everything's always good, yeah.
But it was also kind of like, this doesn't happen in real life at all.
Well, again, these are people who have experienced a lot of death and a lot of things where, things are like on the line for them a lot of the time. I mean, I think about my mom all the time because we have such a big family and stuff, so she'll always just be like, did you know this person? And I'm like, who? And she's like, well, they died today. And I'm like, oh, I am so sorry for you because you clearly, are attached to this person and I have no idea who they are.
And they'll be like, oh, no, they were like someone's friend's son.
Right, but they care because they've been around. They've been around I'm making them sound like dinosaurs. They've been around for a long time. There's so many people that have touched their lives. And so things that are a little bit simpler, like Hallmark, or, it doesn't feel like they have to dig into the feelings.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, my dad, I was having this conversation with my dad the other day. They had a neighbor who passed away. My dad is about to be 80 at the end of this year. So he talks about the neighbor calling him and going over there. And he's like, oh, yeah, I showed up. And, I could already tell he was dead when I got there. And then just kept moving along in the conversation. And then I had this moment where I was like, how many dead bodies has my dad seen? And I was like, oh, this is why you watch every single sport on every single channel all day fucking long. I'm like, because this man will watch golf on TV. And now I'm like, well, that's probably because he's seen 1,000 dead bodies that I don't know about. And I'm like, yeah, at some point, my mom
I see a video of someone dying on Twitter, and I need a week to recover. And I've seen a good amount of I've seen a good amount of people die on the internet, and it's...
Yeah, why are they showing us that also? Can we stop that? How come every man can call me like a fat whore every day, but I have to watch a death video? Like, I have to watch a public execution.
It can't be both. It can't be both. It's got to be one or the other.
I've convinced myself that if I ever see a dead body, I'll be strong. Don't know why.
You've never seen a dead body?
I've thought I've seen a dead body.
Are you talking about like in general or in person?
I'm now thinking I've seen a lot of dead bodies. Wait, are we talking about that you haven't seen?
Well, I've been to a funeral. I've been to a funeral. But I mean, like, you know how in movies someone dies and then you like puke? Or the person pukes?
Yeah.
People.
You
But
won't
usually
puke.
it's like, I think I won't puke.
I've seen
but-
lots of them, I think.
Okay.
I've seen too many, I think. Maybe,
Okay.
Possibly.
And this is why you're a Dodger fan now.
This is making sense. Well, now that we're talking about, I was working downtown and I'm like, yeah, I would see you'd see people die pretty regularly.
Right.
I worked like near Skid Row, which is like a very large homeless population, and you'd see horrible things happen intentionally and otherwise. And so, yeah, a lot of that. I've also, seen loved ones, dead bodies, and also I think like car accident stuff in LA. I've seen a lot too. So I feel like, and that was definitely a time where I'm like, yeah, I was seeing a lot of like really sad stuff.
Right.
Like, I need to dig into baseball. This feels safe. This feels comfortable.
Right.
Look at this. Look at them. Look, they have their perfect uniforms and no one's messing it up.
Yeah.
Did you know they get a fine if they do that wrong? Oh my goodness.
I've seen horrific things, but I don't think I've seen a lot of human death. I've seen terrible things happen. I worked in the homeless population for a while, so I saw other things. I've seen a lot of, but I don't think I've seen a lot of death.
Yeah, that's fair.
In terms of that. But
Yeah.
if you're not watching death right now, because you're watching Down Bad, a podcast where we celebrate the good, the ugly, and the down bad of life. This podcast is for the lover boys, the crashout cuties, and the hoes on the path of healing. I'm Quincy Yeoman.
It's your boy, Crispy here. I was trying to figure out how to do the same thing.
I was like, oh yeah, we have to intro this. And we're back again with a lovely guest. She was here last time. Dodger fan, incredible comedian. It's Lisa Chanoux.
Thank you for having me.
You get claps
God,
both
it's not a
times.
double clap.
A double clap. A double clap.
I was in Santa Cruz doing shows, and I was outside of a bar as I normally am. And this woman came over to me, and I couldn't tell if she was homeless or not, but she seemed to know the people at the bar. So I was like, okay, she's either like a transient person who kind of is safe, or she's fine and it just looks a little rough today.
Right.
And she started talking to me a little bit about her life, and she was going through a bunch of stuff. And so I have this face that people feel like, oh, this is a safe person to talk to or whatever. And so I talked to her for a little while, and then she said, can I give you a hug? And I was like, yeah. And when she hugged me, she whispered in my ear, they call me the angel of death of Santa Cruz. And I was like, this is terrifying. Like, what?
You say that before you hug someone.
She was talking about, someone in her life who was passing away and all this stuff. And so I know she was feeling that everyone around me is leaving and all of this kind of thing. But I was just like, that is the scariest thing you can say to a human being. And like,
They call me the angel of death.
Did
of
you
Santa
actually see her
Cruz.
walk away, or did she just disappear?
Her.
Okay, I was like,
I made sure to see her walk
yeah,
away.
I'm like, where are you going? Yeah.
But I was just
You're like, hey, that person was crazy. They're like, what person?
hey, do you guys know the angel of death is Santa Cruz? And they're like, oh, we haven't seen that woman in 35 years.
That's so spooky.
Since April 21st, 1988. I'm like, my birthday.
Did you like cleanse after that, or did you
No,
feel?
I was a little drunk, and I was like very scared, and I was like, maybe I don't wake up tomorrow, like that would be really
Right.
horrible. Like, but no, I just went along with the rest of the tour, and everything was fine. And but I think about that all the time because I think I have, again, a big family. I've experienced a lot of death in my life. I feel like I have a pretty good relationship with death. I say currently no one in my family is like, everyone's like very healthy. So I'm like, oh yeah, it's fine. But I do feel like I have that in we talk about astrology and stuff, and I have the sun in the 12th house, which is like a death space, but I just feel very comfortable with it. I don't know.
I was just gonna say, it's if I found out, because you're like, when you were drunk, you're like, oh no, I might not wake up tomorrow. There's almost, I wonder if there's like, if you find out you were gonna like a day was gonna be your last day on earth, if it's almost like freeing, where it's almost like in the NFL when the play starts and there's a flag, so they get a free play because whatever happens, it doesn't matter. There's a flag on the play. I wonder if it's like, if you found out, oh, today is going to be the day I die, where it's just like, all right, then fuck it. Ultimate free will. I don't have to deal with the consequences of my actions.
Y'all, well, if it's the last day and I'm dying, everybody's gonna fucking know. Because I'm going fucking nut on you hoes. And I'm like, I'll be like, sorry, this like, you better hope I don't have a gun at that point. I'm not even that. I'm going fucking crazy.
I think I have a regular day. I think it is freeing, but I think I have a regular day. I feel like because I scuba dive, there are like all of these things where I go like, at any point, it could be the last time. You could be taken at any moment. And like, I always think for me, the saddest thing, because I have, I love alcohol. I love partying. I feel like the saddest thing for me would be like to go that way, to be like overdose on something or have a thing where it was like self-inflicted. I feel like is very, very painful for other people to deal with. It's also just like, I feel like you get that thing where it's like you die scuba diving, everyone's just like, yeah, it was your time.
Right.
You die skydiving, people
like
are
the
like
submarine people,
doing what she loved. You know, like
Right.
it's just one of those things where, but it's like, so then to me, I feel like the fate and the freedom is in who do you get to see on that regular day. Your
That's
last
a really
day.
sweet
that's
approach.
so
Those
sweet.
people have to be important to your life and all of that kind of stuff.
The craziest thing is I don't feel afraid of death, but I feel like knowing it's the end of the day, I would just want to commit a lot of crime. I think that would.
crime.
I would definitely shoot someone.
I love that.
I would just want to see. I
would try to grab a cop's gun.
I don't know. There's just like a few things. Probably, I already drive really fast. I also like to party. Although I don't drink, I still love to party in other ways, and I do agree with that. And I'm not ever like consciously thinking about death, but I think that knowing like, okay, hey, at midnight, you're back to a pumpkin.
Right.
I would just be a little bit,
Yeah.
I don't think I'd say no.
I would be reckless. I'm already reckless, but I think it would give me the license to take it to a level that you can't. It would be purge style almost.
I don't think I'd say no to anything that day, for sure.
Yeah.
I feel like anything that got handed to me would be ingested. Anything that got offered to me would be taken up on. Even I think possibly like gross stuff.
Yeah.
Like stuff you don't even necessarily want.
Yeah.
Where it's like you like make out with a cat collar. Like there are things where you go like, I've never experienced that. Like maybe that's what.
Yeah.
Do you
totally.
realize if you made out with a cat collar, anyone who sees that happening, they're going to spend the rest of their lives defending catcalling because they're like, I saw it work one time.
Truly. That's
A woman at the end of her life.
You just got to know it's her last day on earth.
I would definitely, if I knew it was my last day, I would definitely try to take advantage of like ultimate free will of like doing things that I wouldn't do, like throwing a drink, jumping on a car, wearing my shoes inside the house, like things that I normally would never
Yeah, same.
do.
I think you can try the shoes thing. You don't have to be dying for that.
No,
that's
I
gross.
wouldn't even. I wouldn't even do that on my dying day.
Do it at someone else's house.
Okay.
Well, you go to white people's houses.
Yeah, I go to white people's houses.
I
can do
would
that.
also spend all my money.
Yes.
I'd be like, sorry, and I mean,
Yes.
You'd
nothing's
spend
getting
it.
left to my family.
Depending on where I'm at, hopefully I'll have more money. If I have money that's worth,
What are we doing? What are we buying? And where's that?
You know
stuff
what's
going?
wild is
Well, because you want the thrill of
You
purchasing
know what
it.
I want the
do?
thing. I'm like Lambo.
I'm gonna buy all this garbage and leave that for someone instead of the money.
Just order a bunch of Amazon packages to people's houses.
After you dead, and they just receive. They just
The
are
most
receiving
ridiculous.
them for months in advance.
Oh yeah, maybe
Ordering
there's
a bunch of stuff from Temu. It's gonna come like 3 weeks later to
I
somebody's
love
house,
that.
haunting people.
That's
Ooh,
okay. I have
like
some
that.
ideas.
I like that.
We do have a thread. This
Yes.
episode we're
We actually kind of touched on it when we were talking about
a
generations.
little bit. Yes. Okay. So we thought this would be a great topic to chat about. So we find a thread, we bring it up. This one, there's a two-parter. I'll just mostly. Oh my gosh, it's not zooming, but I will say. Oh, there it goes. I have the picture now. So this is from Livy Smalls on Threads. Gen Z is the most Christopher Columbus generation. They are constantly discovering things that have been around and presenting them to the internet like it's new. There's a follow-up that's like a 4 thread from a Gen X person. I'll read this one too that says, because I think this was around Coachella, people were talking about it. And this is from I Writer Girl 2.0. And it says, the "Who is Madonna" discourse reveals something way more telling than the generational gap. It's an exposure gap that gets misread as a time gap. I'm Gen X and I didn't live through Etta James or Frank Sinatra, but I knew them because genuine music lovers don't just absorb what's current. We seek backward, we inherit from family, and we develop context, and that's what musical literacy actual is. The flippancy is the real issue. It's one thing not to recognize someone immediately. It's another thing to dismiss them as irrelevant simply because they predate your algorithm.
Now you're speaking to like a Grateful Dead fan, so
yeah, and I mean,
grain of salt,
and you like the Eagles, yeah.
I do feel like
go musical birds.
Yeah, go musical birds.
I do feel like I do agree with the original post that I do feel like Gen Z is constantly being like, "Have you heard of?" But I also do think every generation has a little bit of this, and I think specifically like. I think there are moments I look back on where I go like, oh, my mom like knew what that was, but wanted me to like discover it on my own and let me like learn. And I think because of the internet, these younger generations don't have that opportunity to like discover things on their own. They're just kind of fed what, even like the algorithm itself. I think my mom made me like try soccer and made me do a bunch of stuff, and it's like if you have an algorithm that shows you what you like earlier in your life, you maybe don't explore things that like teach you lessons that make you go, even soccer or something where I go like, I scored a goal, my first goal, and was like, I'm done. That was all I wanted. I just wanted to know what that felt like, and I really don't like playing soccer.
Right.
And I think like that teaches you something much deeper than scrolling past a soccer video and going, I don't really like soccer.
Right.
And so I think there is, and it's not like the fault of their generation at all, but I think there are things we like discount and go, well, I've already learned the lesson. I already know the answer without learning the lesson. And so I think there's some of that. But I do think every generation has gone like, hey, I mean, look what we did to 80s clothes, millennials, and look what they've done to 90s clothes, and look what's going to happen again with, you know, and the 90s are a repurposing of the 70s. And so I think we all do this thing where we go like, I found this thing and I think it's cool. And it's like, no, other people have liked fedoras before or whatever. Like, you're not the first to discover this thing. But we did that. Millennials did that for a time, or maybe that's a little Gen X-y. But, you know, I think there's even just people who think they've like have a personality that really loves Rat Pack or something like that. It's like, yeah, but people in that era also really liked that thing.
Right.
And I think with the Madonna thing too, I mean, I've been to a ton of, as you know, jam band shows are just like, they have these special guests come in all the time, and I'm always the person in the back that goes like, I don't know who this fucking guy is. Who is this guy?
Right.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, and I'm like, okay, well, I want to just sit here until I figure it out, you know?
Yeah.
And
It's Taco Ralph, and you're like, who the fuck is this person?
But then you get into it and you start researching it and stuff. And I think to the point of the commenter too, where you go like, being able to say, I don't know who that is, but I want to know it and I want to like be a part of the conversation is about having literacy and looking into it and not just being like, oh, well, like some old bitch is on stage. Like, I don't really fucking care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I mean, the whole Sabrina Carpenter Madonna moment's cool because it's like, it's getting the nod from what has been considered pop royalty. And it's like the same thing happens in rap where it's like when like old rappers will collaborate with like the new young ones on their records and stuff. It's like, oh, this is like a nice passing the torch kind of moment. And I love like when I don't understand the severity of something, I love doing the deep dive so I can understand, because I want that feeling of like, oh, this is so cool. I can't believe how big of a moment this was kind of thing. So it's very much where I didn't even think about it as literacy. I always kind of thought of it was just my ADHD needing to know what it was. But that is a good point where that is a skill of literacy to be like, let me figure out why this is important. rather than writing it off.
Literacy is not something that's valued today because, again, we have the answer book.
Right.
And so I think that is also a hard journey to go on, to just understand. I mean, even our generation was like the ones that had, you know, I still had to like cite scholarly journals in college and stuff. We had to use books. We couldn't just use all websites. I think that's probably gone. I don't know that. But I think kids in college today are probably only just using sources they find online, just because it's so hard.
Right.
To, like,
or they're just using
stuff.
chat to do the research for them.
For
and all
sure.
That.
And then, and even then, I think we aren't maybe learning as much, even if we're rewriting something that's been pared down a little bit. I don't know.
Yeah, I think the literacy thing is a great point. I think people stop at the discovery these days. I also, just this anecdote I thought about, I was on a festival a couple weeks back, and one of the comedians who was headlining the show I was on, she has a daughter who's 16, and we were just comics riffing and hang out after, and she was like, yeah, my daughter walked up to me and was like, have you heard of this band Nirvana? Which I'm not a Nirvana fan or whatever, but it's like, obviously even by not being a Nirvana fan, I love Kurt Cobain. What up, white boy? R.I.P. But I will say, that was my type for a while. But I will say, like, I know enough. Like, it's like, okay. Or I had older siblings too. I think there's things you get from siblings that then you're like, okay, I got this information through osmosis or their fandom. And you're right. I think people just are like, who is Madonna? Okay, cool. I looked it up. But I'm like, did anybody go deep enough into, like, I saw this thing about a girl talking about Britney Spears, for instance, and her influence, and people not even realizing how deep that goes anymore, because you're right. You're just fed what you see and then you stop. Right. And I know they're trying to do, I saw that the Google Scholar is now a thing, which I haven't looked up, where they actually have like scholarly journals, things like that. But I don't think people are reading anymore. I don't think people are. You're never going to get that thrill of like having 5 hours to write a huge paper and like actually come up with it. And so I think the loss of literacy and critical thinking leaving at the same time.
I don't know if thrill is the word that I would use.
Oh, I loved that. I love that shit.
The panic, the panic of
having
having
listen, that was before I did drugs, so I was just looking for it anywhere I could. But it's like, then it's like, oh, and you felt so not like you knew something, right? You know,
it was a thrill when you would do that and be like, okay, I can't believe I did that, and then get the grade back and you actually pass, and you're just like, oh, I should do this every time.
Yeah. I also think that there is a difference between everybody online is critical, right? So like every comment is like, I noticed the books in the back of your fucking video are for losers, or like we're all little critics. But that's not actually critical thinking. Like, noticing isn't actually what critical thinking is. And I think, to your point about the paper, it's something where you go, if I actually had an organic thought while reading this thing or processing this or writing this, and it meant something to me, and then I was able to create a thing and convey it well enough to get a good grade, that feels powerful. That feels like critical thinking, versus I think what we often do in school is like regurgitate stuff, try to predict what somebody else wants to see out of it, what your teacher wants to see out of it. And I think that's also social media, where we go like, I want to get as many people to watch this video as possible. I want to get as many people to relate to this video as possible. It's really more about you than it is about me. I'm not really having a thought. I'm not really doing any critical thinking. I'm feeding you garbage. You're eating garbage. And we're all just playing ping pong,
throwing up in each other's mouths back and forth.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so like,
that's bleak.
I feel like society has revolved into like just thinking everything is mid now.
Yeah.
And like a perfect example of this is like, it happens in the gaming community a lot, where people just instantly write off stuff and be like, oh, this is mid, that's mid. And it's just like, have an original thought. Like, stop thinking something is average or not good because everyone else is saying. Like, a lot of games are considered good or bad based off of their player count. And it's like, who cares how many people are enjoying this thing? Do you like this thing or not? Like, form an original thought. Or even like, I feel like people are trying to find reasons people are more likely to try to find reasons to not like something versus liking it. And a perfect example is like Zach Krieger has a new movie coming out based off of a very successful video game franchise called Resident Evil. I think the movie looks absolutely fantastic, but apparently a bunch of people are complaining over the most nitpicky little things that do not matter. And it's just like, I feel like that's just a symptom. There's so much online that's just kind of like what you were saying, where people are like, well, you didn't have, like, you had this book in the background. It's not like, it's literally people are complaining thinking the movie is going to be bad because there's snow.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everybody being upset that Lupita is Helena of Troy. And it's like, this is made up shit.
Right.
I'm like, y'all are upset she's black? Like, right. It's like, I don't know.
Right. And obviously they were complaining about the helmets of the Greek army. And it's who the fuck cares?
I also think we've come to a place in society where we have like attached popularity statistics to everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, now you can just like a movie and just be wrong.
Right.
And that's like not what life should be like.
Right.
No.
Like, and someone will just spit something at you like, well, 70% of critics on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like, eat my asshole.
It's like half taste.
I liked it. Whatever.
Half taste.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, I don't know. And I saw The Devil Wears Prada 2, and I thought it was like fun with all the fashion and stuff, but I'm like, you can't just make this movie about like AI and innovation and just be very like the same movie we've already seen 20 years ago.
Right.
Like, it's cool. I like the thing. It was fun. It was funny. It's whatever. But like, for me, like, critical thinking is going like, well, you didn't really innovate, so why are we talking about this topic?
Kind of just did the same thing over.
That doesn't mean that I'm wrong or whatever.
Right.
It's just maybe it just didn't hit me like good, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, I saw it on the wrong day. People aren't really, I do think I discovered this and feeling like your taste has to be whatever is popular or being afraid to be seen mid is like just damaging people to the most crazy extent.
It makes you go, it makes you common denominator your stuff down too.
Yeah.
And it makes everybody present things that are sanitized and not messy and weird. And all of this stuff that we're creating art, even if it is online art, like it should still be funky and weird and like wrong sometimes. It's just not, I don't know if I should even talk about this. I sometimes am around younger people, like college graduation age, and I've noticed there are people in the entertainment industry, and I've noticed that when they're interviewed, they all have the same responses. They all have the same response style. And it's because we've all watched e-television so much that we've learned how to go, I'm so glad you asked. And it's like, hey, be yourself.
Yeah.
Like, and I struggle with it too. I'm not saying I'm, anything, but it's like, have your own personality. You don't need to be like, actually, Jared, I am.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like, just
be a person.
Relax.
Be a real person.
I just feel like the dissonance between that and everybody wanting so heavily to be an individual and seen as unique and special and weird makes no fucking sense.
Yeah.
I'm like, you can't be like, I'm doing everything else, but also I'm main character energy. It's like, what the fuck? How does that even connect for you?
Right.
That's the lack of critical thinking on my.
Yeah.
It's like, it makes no sense to me.
Sometimes it's better to be decisive than to be like everyone else.
We also need to get right with being wrong. And I think that this, especially political time with especially young men and stuff, where we just have to learn how to say, I was wrong, and it's embarrassing, and sometimes it doesn't feel good to be wrong. I did something wrong, or I said something wrong. It's okay. Right. Everybody makes mistakes. That I'm not saying like, crimes or anything like that, but I think we just have to get better about being like, not humiliated to do
it's okay
wrong.
to be wrong because
you're gonna get caught because cameras are everywhere.
Right.
And also sometimes it's like, you should be humiliated.
Yeah.
And feel shame and let yourself feel these very real human feelings that then in turn will make you grow as a person.
Right.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's like, especially, I mean, we touched on this a little bit last time, but with the therapy speak and the pathologizing of everything, it's like, okay, you're speaking to it, but you're actually just speaking to it to avoid feeling it, and that, and therefore you are not learning from it.
Right.
You are only learning how to talk about something you are not actively doing.
Right.
And people are fucking dumb as shit. It's hard. It's hard to watch.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, again, with the therapy stuff, it's like we can learn the things and not take them in. We can have the answers and still have to learn the lessons. I know, I for a fact know, like, you know, more than 4 drinks always makes me feel bad or whatever, but I'm still, like, doing it.
Right.
And it's like I still haven't learned the lesson clearly. I may know the answer. It's the same thing when you see, like, your friend date the same fucking guy again.
Yeah.
And you go,
Never happened.
You know this guy.
Yeah.
You've dated him so many times.
It's not going to be different.
You have the answer. You have the entire map to get there. We all know what's going to happen. You just haven't learned the lesson.
I hate that one. But yeah. No, you're right. You are so right. I think, yeah. Damn.
Listen, and as your friend, I will be there each time.
Of course.
The support.
You can't make somebody learn something.
Yeah.
Even if they have the answer. But I think the more we have the answer is not helping.
Yeah.
Right. And the more that people are learning the language to speak about the answer, it's not helping.
It's not helping.
It's like
you still have to heal.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been following this guy on Instagram, Cypher. He like is this black kid with like glasses who I'm like, he should be a preacher anyway, but he has a lot of deep thoughts about that. But he speaks on the whole like healed person, everybody just talking about being healed versus actually being healed. He has so many good videos, and I'm like, the kids are all right. Actually, he looks maybe 40. I don't know how old he is, but he's somewhere between 18 and 75. But I'm like, I'm like, okay, this is cool. And a lot of people seem to be intaking it, but I'm also like, are people just like liking and being like, okay, I got my lesson for the day, you know? So yeah, the discovering generation, it's hard. It is hard to watch people are like, hey, I just discovered Nirvana. This is what I learned about them or whatever. Or I don't know, or just go.
It's the tone. It's the tone of like, I like literally of what the thread describes is like, I own this because I've just discovered this, even though it's like, no, this thing's always been around. Right. Like finding out about it is not what's wrong. What's wrong is the tone and the attitude of like, have you heard of Nirvana? Like, yes, bitch, I have. Like,
no, the fact you said that to her Gen X mom is so funny.
Again, this points to wanting to be included. I mean, I'm again wearing like a Yoshi jersey, and it's like, you think I knew him, who he was when he was playing in Japan?
Yeah.
No, I know him because he's on the Dodgers.
Right.
And so it is like, I'm not going to like go up to a Japanese person and be like, have you heard of Yoshinobu Yamamoto? Like, they're going to be like, you're an asshole. You know? Like,
Totally. It's bad. It's bad. Well, we're pretty much at time for this episode.
All right.
I know. I'm ready to keep talking, but we got games to get to, things to do. So do we want to do refuse to be down bad, or do we just want to do plugs?
Let's do plugs.
Okay, cool.
Well, do you have another thing that you could be down bad about, or that you refuse to be down
bad about? Is it something that I have been down bad about that I'm just like,
no, it could be something that like,
I just think no one should care about anymore.
it could be any.
It could be both ways if there's anything.
I mean, Taylor Swift comes to mind.
Okay.
I just do. I think the billionaire aspect, and again, I am wearing a Dodgers jersey while I say this, so we don't need to point fingers and all of this, but the billionaire aspect really bothers me, and I think I'm tired of hearing that she's a good person. I feel like I almost don't even feel like she's human. I feel like there's some sort of,
it's a machine at this point.
Yeah, and I also, the other thing is anti-aging stuff. I really just refuse to like jump into Botox and all of these things just because everybody else is doing it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Not that it's not useful for some people and for some
it
things,
has been normalized a lot.
It's like, this is not an absolute for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel that. That's
and
very
I feel
real.
like she looks like she uses a lot of anti-aging stuff.
Really? I haven't looked at.
Taylor
I haven't
Swift?
seen. I haven't seen her in a
she
bit.
looks young for her age.
Oh,
But I
okay.
could
Yeah,
be
because she's
wrong.
like mid-30s or something, right?
I also think the whole Easter eggs and everything, I'm just like, this is embarrassing. Stop doing this. This is humiliating. You're a billionaire and you're like, I'm going to leave some capital letters for you to put together and make a different word. It's like, go away. Go enjoy your money. What are we doing?
Yeah.
We're on a hunt. We're on a hunt. There's a jewelry store in San Francisco that leaves $10,000 gold coins in the city once a year. Do that hunt.
Yeah.
Let's do that hunt.
Oh, that's a good one. I refuse to be down bad about the amount of times I had to date someone to learn a lesson. Yeah, just, sometimes, you just, yeah, I'm a repeater.
I honestly, I'm gonna do the same one.
Really?
Yeah, because my 20s and early 30s was just dating the wrong people.
You're still in your early 30s.
I mean, yeah. I'm talking about like when I was 30.
Okay, so
like
30
and 31.
Okay.
But it was mostly my 20s was just me chasing after people who could not care if I lived or died, while ignoring people who cared if I lived or died.
Well, at least you always tried a different person.
That's true.
I've gone back to the same person who would repeatedly not care if I lived or died.
I just touched the stove and it was hot, but maybe this time it would be different.
Insanity, yeah.
I've done the same thing. I mean, I'm not gonna. I disparage my husband enough in my stand-up, so I'm not gonna like talk about current relationship stuff. But I do. I think there are guys that still message me that I go like, oh, I'll come pick you up. I'm married, but you need a ride. Okay. And it's like, what are you doing? You want him to like you that bad?
Yeah.
The human experience is just
yeah.
what
The
a fun
highest
time.
highs, the lowest lows. That's
Always
beautiful.
on their way in there,
Right. Well,
Lisa, if people like the things you say and the way you say it, where can they follow you?
Follow me on Instagram at Lisa Chanoux. You can follow me on OnlyFans. It's not naked. I'm sorry. Every Sunday at Chatterbox Comedy Night at 8 p.m. at the Chatterbox in Covina.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You can find me, Quincy Yeoman, quincy.yeoman on the platforms I'm on.
At Chris Mia Comedy on Instagram and TikTok, at Toe From Here on Twitter and Twitch. You should also follow our show page at The Down Bad Show on Instagram, at Down Baddies on TikTok. I just realized that there was different the other day. So
I know I was trying to get down baddies on Instagram and they're like, no.
But give us a follow. Also give us a rating and a review. Give us 5 stars for nothing below 3. And also send us your down bads. What are you down bad about? All that stuff is in the show notes. But till next time, stay curious.
Stay up.